gas o' the sea, dolphin-fueled cars. Why wait millions of years for a dolphin to turn into oil?
10 seconds.
Catch you on the flap side.
Can we get a monster check, please?
6, 5,
Go to black.
4, 3.
7 WEOB, The Asylum.
Yeah, can I take them out? Ironhide, you know we don't harm humans. What is with you? Well, I'm just saying we could. It's an option.
Hello, I'm the Lighthouse Critic, one guy with 1,000 views and all the episodes I must review. You know, life ain't too easy when you're living with something that's too old and too rusted and too crappy looking. Sometimes new things are good, and sometimes they would have their own flaws to come with it. Because there's a part of me that wants to like this episode, but instead I'm just gonna look at this completely different. That just completely rattled my nuts. And with that being said, Vantastic Voyage. The 9th episode of Season 2 of The Lighthouse, and overall the 61st episode. You know, when I first heard about this episode, it didn't look too interested for me. And when I watched this episode, yeah, this is something what they already did before in Season 1. And this episode doesn't even work too well as that episode actually did. Let's take a good voyage at this episode and see what's gone wrong about it. Today's Lighthouse episode was requested by David Fiore, Norman, and Maikua Viril.
Okay, kids, steady as she goes.
Lola, you are not in a parade. Get down here and help us push.
I just can't wait till something knocks her down off that van.
Mom, this is the 3rd time Vanzilla's broken down this week. Don't you think it might be time for a new car?
It would be one hell of a miracle for that even to happen. Hell, as I recall, these kids actually destroyed the van in the sweet spot. Why didn't they get a new car by that time? But here's where the BS comes.
I would love a new car, guys. It's your dad who won't go for it. Vanzilla was his father's van. And his grandfather's.
Flashback? Flashback.
Hit it.
That was my first car. And my dad's first car. And his dad's first car.
Pussy, 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 pussy.
Yeah, as much as I can see, this piece of crap van has been a family heirloom from his side of the family. It wouldn't actually kill him to actually get an actual new car. Or a van in this case.
Someday he hopes to pass it on to you, Lincoln.
You know what? Fuck you! Fuck you! And fuck you! Asshole mio! Oh, sada mia! Really?
They finally reach the home, and does anybody even notice something here? Wait for that to happen.
Thanks for the assist, kids. After dinner, I'll need a push to ceramics class.
Son of a bitch.
Oh, hell no, I'm out of here.
There's gotta be some way we can convince Dad to get a new car.
You heard Mom. All our arguments are just going to stall. Get it?
Speaking of stall, I'll tear that episode later on.
Unless we try the subliminal approach.
This got me thinking, what could those kids be thinking that way? By the way, remember what I said before about this shot? Here it comes.
Wait a minute.
Where's Lola?
I got knocked off by a tree branch 3 blocks back. Thanks for noticing.
Well, maybe if you weren't out there shitting around like you're in a Marcy's Thanksgiving Day parade, maybe you wouldn't get knocked the fuck out.
You got knocked the fuck out, bitch!
Stop it. Stop it, both of you.
So the kids are actually in the kitchen and they're trying to persuade their dad into getting the new van.
You go, Dad. We made you blueberry brand new van cakes.
Sweet Jesus, slow down. You're gonna get collywobbles that way.
Is that a new shirt, Dad? You look fantastic in it. Yeah, Dad, you the van.
Thanks, girls.
Whoops, got a little hood ornament on your face.
Yeah, I would stop being Luann for once. But it ain't over yet.
Dad, can you help me with this math problem? If Mr. Cloud's van stalls out 10 miles from his office, how late will Mr. Cloud be for his important meeting?
Well, I'll work on it. Let's see now. It's, I'd say it's about, what was the question?
Aye vey. Well, based on my experience from last Tuesday, I'd say about 3 hours. And boy, is he gonna stink.
Thanks, Dad.
No problem, sweetie.
I still don't fucking get how they even know their own theme show song. I just hope the mother doesn't actually do it as well, too. The next day in the Loud House.
Whoa, Nelly! What is that glorious smell? It's like warm bread, roses, and puppies all rolled into one.
Whoa, wow, at least we know the dad has a femmy side.
Just my latest experiment. I've recreated the intoxicating new car smell.
Oh, wow, I think I prefer lavender, ginger, or peppermint for my smell of my car.
Wait, new cars smell like this? I had no idea. I don't know what's come over me, but I suddenly think it's time the Louds get a new minivan.
Hallelujah! Hallelujah! Holy shit!
Lola and I have been working on a new song. It's called Happiness is a New Van.
Can it? He already said yes.
We've been practicing for 4 hours. Sit down!
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yeah, Bunny.
Nobody cares!
Fuck you!
Holy sudden shiny teeth in me, Batman. Is that the new van? And did I just freaking hear the shave and a haircut 2-bit horn?
Ain't she a beaut? I fell in love the minute I took her for a test drive. Check this out.
Oh, automatic doors. How convenient.
Not so fast. This van is brand new and I want to keep it that way.
It ain't brand new anymore. They just touched the car.
Hope that buffs out.
You are such an idiot.
Now, line up for inspection. So, no history of flaking skin, projectile vomiting, or leaky bowel syndrome.
My God, are you still talking?
Okay, gang, let's take her for a ride. Everybody out. Don't smudge the door handles.
What the fuck? What the fuck just happened? It's over? Oh, God.
Now, guys, we don't want to rack up the mileage on Veronica.
Who?
Oh, that's the name I gave my little baby.
Yeah, I think I actually heard a name like that in the Archie comics.
God damn!
Now everybody out.
I sense the dissatisfaction in all their faces, except for maybe Lucy.
Dad, can I borrow, Veronica tomorrow?
You're serious, aren't you?
Oh, sorry, honey. Nobody drives her but me.
Seriously?
And me, of course.
Oh, wait, you're serious too?
Do you see where this is going?
So let me tell you, I already started despising this episode the minute that happened. So as brain dead and hypocritical he is, Lori and Lenny actually go walking into the car sale park because Lori actually has a plan of her own. By the way, in this parking lot, there are actually 2 different vehicles here that kind of represents a few of the Transformers' old designs before they became what they are. And funny that it actually says new and used. On the left-hand side, that green Band-Aid that you actually see, that right there was actually supposed to be Ratchet's old design before he became an ambulance truck. And on the right side, if you look at that one red car Beetle, that's actually Bumblebee. Now wait a minute before anyone jumps to conclusions on me about that. Bumblebee was actually originally a Camaro in some of the movies and even in the old series, but in the new Bumblebee movie, he's actually a Beetle, which is what you're looking at right here. The only reason why they changed it to red is because they wouldn't actually add the Bumblebee conspiracy. But anyways, Lori and Lenny actually arrive and they actually find a car and they manage to take it for a test drive with Steve.
Wait, did you say test? Lori, I didn't study.
Does driving Miss Hazy ring a bell to you, Lenny? as the paranoid hypocritical dad is actually washing his new Veronica van, as he's wearing some kind of beaded vest.
I got his and hers for me and Veronica.
Wow.
Yeah, just wow.
This is quaint.
It's lovely, but I fancy myself in autumn.
Listen, can I get a ride?
No can do, son. Veronica and I have a very special outing plan.
I don't want to think what's on his mind of what he wants to do with Veronica.
And don't even think about it, pal!
Really? Just really? You don't know how to use a shotgun?
Yeah, more birds would be great. My car still has a few areas not completely covered in poop.
While elsewhere, Lori and Lenny and Steve are actually arriving at the Bourbon Burger as they are still test driving that new car.
Duh, we gotta test the cup holders.
I like what I'm seeing with these two together. And there is something I gotta say about these two, but I'll save that for later on. Now then, with Lynn Senior actually at a mini band society with his two best buddies. And by the way, look on the right side of that band. Does that band not look somewhere similar close to an actual band from Cars?
Get this, my wife actually wanted to take Veronica grocery shopping. I mean, what if her dang protein shake spilled, huh? I'd never forgive myself.
I cannot believe they would start season 2 out with Lynn Senior being a dick. He's no better than Homer Simpson.
You little... Oh! 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 Ow! Ow! That really hurt.
You're a real sight.
I never let my family in Sophia. Gotta protect her fine Italian leather. Isn't that right, Bellissima?
Well then, maybe you should let it be your wife instead.
Whoa, check out Kotaro. What's he driving?
Hey now, did Rocksteady just turn back human again, or is that a relative of his?
Gentlemen of the Royal Woods Minivan Society, allow me to present Marilyn.
Va-va-voo!
You named that band after Marilyn Monroe? No wonder guys see her as a sex symbol.
F it, I'm gonna go masturbate.
We're back at the Loud House with Mom, Lincoln, and his sisters are debating about what they did.
Okay, we all know why we're here. Dad is out of control with the new van.
Yeah, it's almost enough to make you miss Vanzilla.
She was a hunk of junk, but at least we could be ourselves.
Yeah, and you guys still could be yourselves in Veronica. I mean, honestly, it wouldn't kill the guy to actually lighten up a bit. But as much as I hate to say it, they persuade Lynn Senior to actually get Vanzilla back, which I don't know why they deserve to have that hunk of shit back.
But this, it seemed, was easier said than done.
Veronica, will you accept this key ring as a symbol of my love?
Oh, for Pete's sake.
You've got to be shitting me.
That's messed up.
Well, I guess things won't be the same for you and him being in bed anymore. You know, I would go and talk about Lori and Lenny and Steve at some points, but I gotta skip that and go right straight into the ball stabbing moments.
Eat it! Eat the goddamn turkey! Eat the turkey!
So sorry.
Anyway.
Hey, Dad, we made Pizilla. Pizza shaped like Vanzilla. Brings back some memories.
Yeah, consider the alternatives of it being destroyed, it broken down, falling apart, and no one gives a shit about it. You know, it's something from his hippie father and from his Grease grandfather.
Just as I took it over from my father, who took it over from his father, who won it from a friend in a game of mahjong.
What an odd thing to say.
It sure does. Everything's fallen off of it just like Vanzilla. Glad that heap's gone.
I'd be saying the same thing if that heap of shit is gone as well too, but he still is gonna be acting like a douchebag to his children and his wife. And speaking about that,
I'm off to work, dear. I know you don't trust me to drive Veronica. So from now on, I'll be carpooling with my coworker, Brandon. You know, the one who just won the Mr. Hunky Royal Woods contest.
ooh, somebody's packing a lot of heat down there. You know, as much as I like to say this, he's more attractive than Lynn Sr. Oh yeah, I said it.
Uh-huh, sure, honey. Smile, Veronica. This is going on our blog.
Are you shitting me? What is wrong with you?
Any last words? Not too late to cheat on him.
You can put your shirt back on now, Brandon.
Rita kills me with that facial look, especially the tone in her voice. How many want to bet that she's gonna bang this guy later on? Because honestly, I know she was trying to make him jealous so much, but I have a feeling that she was gonna kind of cheat on him. And with that being said, Lynn Sr. didn't give a shit about his wife. And I thought Lois Griffin was a whore. But don't take that the wrong way with Read Aloud. At least she has some things under control. After when she just said you can put your shirt back on and doesn't feel too much impressed. But Lois, on the other hand, she would go right for it. And not give a shit about Peter Griffin as much as Peter Griffin doesn't give a shit about his family or his wife.
That's disturbing.
But anyways, the Louds have to amp their game up. I'm trying to get rid of Veronica.
Okay, maybe we can do a tour around the block and then... My baby! She's been mugged!
Wow, sorry, Dad, but maybe there's a lesson here. We just can't have a car this nice in our driveway.
Really?
Was that really necessary to actually even say?
You're right, son. Everybody clean out the garage. You'll be safe in there, lambkins. Chop, chop! We need to get Veronica in a safe place before sundown. Well, that went poorly.
Let's face it, dudes. We're never gonna trick Daddy-O into getting Vanzilla back.
Get Vanzilla back?
Hallelujah, hallelujah.
What are you talking about? Don't you like Veronica?
She's fine. The problem is, well, you.
Yeah, you turned into a total meanie, and frankly, a bit of a weirdo.
Look who's talking.
You say that like you're not.
Have you looked in a fucking mirror lately?
That is unfair.
No, it's not, Dad. You made me walk all the way home from school.
I was very clear about the no sneezing policy.
If you sneeze, you don't wipe that boogie without my okay?
Is it just me, or am I like the only one who thinks the dad is so abusive toward his kids? Considering this is actually the 9th episode, there's really a bad fucked up episode that comes later on in this season where things get really abusive. And I cannot wait to actually do the editorial on him and Rita sooner. Cause this dad is an absolute dude stick.
I see what's happening here. You can't stand to see how happy Veronica and I are together, so you want to rip us apart. For shame, family. For shame.
I'll kill him! I'll kill him myself!
Between this episode and No Such Fucking Luck, I want Homer Simpson to strangle this guy for me. Because I'm grateful he actually strangled Peter Griffin.
And they called me a meanie and a weirdo.
Meanie? Check. I have heard that one too.
Yep. Weirdo? Been there.
You gotta shrug it off, Lynn. Families just don't get it.
Survey says
you look like seafood.
Or maybe you dipshits don't even get it.
Hey kids, who's up for some burpin' burger? I'll take 5 burpin' burgers with all the stuffings and make sure that sauce is dripping.
You're the best, Dad.
Oh, I wouldn't mind actually getting some burgers myself. But somehow Lynn's friends are actually seeing the light about missing their old vehicles.
Oh, I remember when my kids loved me.
Yeah, me too. In my old van, the kids used to have squirt gun fights, and I'd just laugh.
Yeah, in my old Heap, the dog gave birth right there in the back seat. It was the cutest.
That's fucked up.
You guys are nuts! You're gonna regret this!
Daddy, who's that sad, lonely man in the beaded vest?
Stay away from him, kids.
Oh.
Not the time, Lurch. So Dad actually returns home and apologizes to his family. And here's where something stabs me completely.
Family, I'm sorry. You were right. Who wants to get Vanzilla back?
I got nothing. I have absolutely nothing.
Hi, I want to return this van. It just didn't work out.
All right, sir.
And now I'd like to buy back my old van.
No can do. Just sold it for scrap to the junkyard.
Yes. But remember what I said before about Lori and Lenny? They're about the only 2 saving graces of this episode because they weren't even there to actually foil Dad's plan and trying to trick him into getting Vanzilla back. Instead, throughout the whole entire day, they've been hanging around with Steve and driving that new car around. Did anyone else even notice that? And speaking of, how did Lynn Sr. even manage to get the tires on Veronica back on? Must have had them replaced, I guess. So anyway, with that being said, they actually used the car that Lori and Lenny were taking it for a test drive, and they reached so much to the junkyard to look for Vanzilla. Yeah.
Anyone see an ugly brown van out there?
There she is!
Stop. Frank, shut up. And no again. What?
Dad, feed me.
I want to buy this van!
Yeah, is there by any chance you can actually still have Veronica around and not have this piece of shit back?
She's not a hunk of junk. She's family.
Like I said, the kids can still be themselves in Veronica. And that wouldn't be too much of a big deal either. And this is exactly what bothers me about this episode, but there's gonna be more where it comes from as soon as when I'm done with this.
Thanks for giving up Veronica, dear. I know it was a big sacrifice.
Veronica who?
Aww.
I'm just glad we can all be together in Vanzilla again.
I don't see any of your kids in Vanzilla. Oh my God, they're doing it again.
We are too! Even if we're not actually in
I hope Lola gets knocked down again.
Fuck you!
And that was Vantastic Voyage. You know, somewhat I kind of look at this episode as Homespun 2.0. I say that because there's a few similarities between these episodes. Okay, now I know I didn't find this episode terrible, but I didn't like it either. I mostly didn't even like how much of a douchebag Lynn Sr. was getting about his new van. I mean, he refused to let his children ride in it, thus making them restored to having to walk to school and elsewhere. Talk about child neglect and abuse. Hell, he didn't even let his own wife drive the car, which he kindly seems his van as a soulmate, which I hope he doesn't screw. Sure, he may realize that he became an asshole, but somehow it came off as jarring, as he would have been insensitive toward his family, especially because of a certain episode that established that he values the safety of his family. And there are some laughs here and there to lighten the mood, but they're not really very memorable. But don't think that Lynn Sr. is the biggest hypocrite in this episode. Rita, on the other hand, seemed like she was almost cheating on her husband a bit, because after when she invited Brandon, this big muscular guy that she might have had a crush on before she even met Lynn Sr. Okay, I know she was trying to make Lynn Sr. jealous, but you could have did something better than other to try to cheat on your husband. And yes, there's also an episode where she was a big hypocrite herself, but I'll talk about that episode when it comes to the actual right episode next year around that subject. And I'm also planning to rescore my result on that episode too. But as I stated before, I like Homespun so much better because in the Vantastic Voyage, the van begins to break down so much and how the house was actually falling apart in the former episode. The kids wanted their parents, or in their case their father, considered to buy a replacement among the others. Of course, they've had enough the differences to stand out from each other, but for the most part, they nearly have the same setup. But the thing is, with Homespun, that episode exactly works because so much the siblings get together and they talk about their flaws and pros about the actual house. And somewhat, they realize that their house isn't as bad as they think, especially when they talk about the pros with the slanty floor or the hole in the bathroom floor. Oh yeah, you get what I'm saying. But here, in this episode, it was too damn mean-spirited, and they could at least kept Veronica, besides getting that piece of shit van back in the end. And as for Lynn Sr. himself, he needs to chill the fuck out. So yeah, not much for me to like about this episode. I'm the Loud House Critic, and I'm gonna go take a look at a couple of cars in the car sales parking lot to see if I can actually find that Beetle car or Bumblebee.
In the loud house, duck, dodge, push and shove, it's how we show our love. In the loud house, one boy and 10 girls wouldn't trade it for the world.
Transformers, more than meets the eye. Transformers, robots in disguise. Autobots wage their battle to destroy.
is over.